What up, y'all? What it do? It's your girl, Evany. How's everybody doing today? Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. Come on in, y'all. Come on in. How y'all doing? I ain't seen y'all in a minute. So, what is today's video about? Today's video, we're talking about something different, something that I have not really touched on my channel before. And it was actually a request of a viewer to talk about this here subject. So let's get into it. Let's not waste too much time. But before we do, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, especially if you're enjoying me and this content. All right, why are you not subscribed? Okay, make sure you do that and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Like, comment, share, okay, and follow me on Instagram at Evany88 because I keep that shop popping over there. I do a lot of different like makeup looks and tutorials and all of that. All right, so that's it. Now let's get into what today's video is all about, shall we? All right, so like I said, this is a topic that one of my viewers asked me to discuss, which I actually thought was a very interesting topic. And so I said, yes, absolutely, I will come on here and talk about it. So shouts out to you, you know who you are, okay? And yeah, let's get into it. So she wanted me to discuss this whole MGTOW epidemic, is what it seems like it is. And for those of you who don't know what MGTOW means, it is an acronym that stands for Men Going Their Own Way. Yes, MGTOW, and it is a whole movement, honey. So I have been hearing this term, you know, floating around for quite some time, and I've looked a little bit into it in the past just to get an idea of what the heck it was all about, because I had no idea. And now that this young lady has asked me to discuss this topic, I went back and did a little bit more research just so that I can have a grasp on it. And let's discuss the whole MGTOW thing, shall we? All right, so I'm just going to go into like my thoughts on what I think it's all about and where it stems from. Now, from what I get from it, MGTOW, Men Going Their Own Way, is really about men out here in these streets, okay, who have been scorned in some way, shape, or form by a woman. And they are now deciding that they're putting the brakes on that. They ain't having it no more. They don't want to deal with these so-called gold diggers who are just after their money and whatnot. And these ones that are just going to stab them in the back and break their hearts and everything. And because they are a man scorned, they are choosing to be, I don't know, particularly scrutinizing when it comes to the type of women that they date. They no longer want to be considered the breadwinners, if you will, in their relationships. A lot of MGTOW men believe wholeheartedly in 50-50 relationships where both the man and woman carry equal weight in the relationship. A lot of these men are just absolutely refusing to give the time of day and validation, if you will, to women, or putting them on a pedestal is what people like to call it. They don't want to put women on a pedestal and make them the prize anymore. They're no longer wanting to assume their natural masculine role of provider and caretaker in a way, as far as like providing for the household and all of that stuff. They feel as though they shouldn't have to do that because all of these women out here are gold diggers and they're only after their money. And the only way that they're going to settle down with the woman is if she's willing to stick in there and go 50-50. Or for some men, even her be the breadwinner so that he can sit at home on the couch. You know what I'm saying? And they're just not with the whole, you know, I'm the man, I'm the breadwinner. I go out and make the money and provide for my woman and for my kids and everything. They're just not with that anymore from what I am getting. Okay. Now, the way that I see this is a mechanism for men to, and this is the more positive aspect of MGTOW, because I do think there is a more positive side to it and a negative side to that. And we're going to go into it because this is a very multifaceted subject, and there's so many different ways that you can take it, so many different avenues, so many different ways that people are just going off on their own lane when it comes to MGTOW, that it can really get quite confusing. But the positive aspects of MGTOW are ones that I think all of us should have, women included, and that is basically protecting yourself and guarding yourself from being hurt and manipulated, loving yourself enough to know when to like walk away from toxic relationships and stuff like that, and toxic people, and no longer putting up with being used and abused in relationships just for the sake of being in a relationship. And that I do think is very important for men and women, because when it really comes down to it, men and women want a lot of those same things when it comes to being in a successful relationship. Even though we might express ourselves differently and go about the way that we do things differently, at the end of the day, we all want the same things, right? So the whole thing about self-love and not putting up with no mess and not tolerating being used and stuff like that, I understand, I get it, and I think that that's a good thing. But where I think men are just taking it to the total deep end and just going left with it, this is where it gets complicated, is that a lot of men are kind of putting their past experiences with women that might not have been so good for them, who did take advantage of them, who did hurt them. They are taking those past experiences and they are putting it onto all of the future women that they meet. So they're putting it onto all women, as if all women are manipulators, all women are gold diggers and everything like this. And it has made it so that they are just like totally intolerant of any woman at all. Even if she is a good woman, they just don't see that. And so they have just become so hell-bent on not validating a woman. They have all of these rules and everything. It's like the player's handbook or some stuff. All the rules that people have, when you first meet a woman or whatever. All of these manipulative mind games that men like to play. Some men are very much playing into that and disguising it as MGTOW. So when you first meet, this is what they might say. When you first meet a woman, these are some of the manipulative mind games that you might need to play with her, is gas her up, make her feel validated at first, and, let her know that you're interested in her, and love bomb her, and, just really, go after her until you get her to drop her guard, to put her guard down. And then once you got her like that, you got her exactly where you want her. And that's when you want to take your validation away, and you want to stop giving her compliments. You want to stop calling her so much. You want to become distant. You want to take your validation and take all the attention that you've been giving her away and snatch it away from her, and make her, in a sense, become desperate, because she's used to getting all this attention from you, and you have gotten her to the point where she's starting to let her guard down, and now you got her. So now you're going to pull back so that you can put her in a state of panic and have her chasing after you. And now you got her right where you want her, and you can just use her and manipulate her at will. There's actually people online, giving advice like this and doing courses on how to play these mind games and stuff. So some men are really, really doing this type of stuff and calling it MGTOW. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be a player and everything, and just be downright ugly and nasty to women, because the way that they think is that all women are gold diggers, all women are hoes. We don't love them hoes. So we're just going to dog them out and treat them like dirt from the beginning. And if they get out of line, if they don't want to play our manipulative mind game, then they can be easily discarded and we're on to the next. That is where things get tangled up, because it's no longer about self-love and just staying away from the wrong type of woman, but still remaining open to the right type of woman coming into your life, and not shunning every single woman and putting her in this box of being a gold digging hoe. You know what I'm saying? Instead of doing that, and just knowing that whatever happened with me in this relationship with this person was what that was, and I'm going to leave it in the past, and I know what to look for now so that I don't get myself mixed up in that again. But I'm still open. I'm still going to look for love. still going to keep myself open to love. And I know that not every woman that comes my way is going to be like this one. But men, you know, it seems like a lot of men compared to women just cannot handle heartbreak. They just cannot handle it. If they get scorned or they get heartbroken by a woman, it's just the end of the world. And after they get over their little depression or whatever, they just go into being a complete dog and they just never trust a woman again. And yes, women do the same thing with putting up a wall and being guarded, but women are so much more willing to let that guard down again and again and again after we've been heartbroken a million times and allow love to come in again. You know, even though we have our walls up and we have trust issues and stuff like that, we're much more open to it. So, you know, this thing is just, it's really, really complicated because it's just like, I don't really think a whole lot of men are really understanding what the movement is supposed to be about. And I see a lot of men out here just glorifying being dogs to women and treating women like complete trash and just having multiple women, which if you're just out here dating and you're not in a relationship, that's fine to have multiple women. If you're a woman, you should have multiple men that you're at least talking to. That doesn't mean you have to be having sex with them or anything, but you're just talking to them. You know, keep yourself occupied, keep your options open and everything, but they're just running through these women like, you know, draws, you know what I'm saying? Like underwear on the daily and just feeling like it's okay. And they're really feeling like they're the man, you know what I'm saying? So what I meant to bring up earlier is that they are mistaking this player mentality, this dog mentality for being an alpha male. So basically what MGTOW is to me is men denouncing their natural born position as alphas in this world that we live in, because alpha males are natural providers. You know what I'm saying? Alpha males are go-getters. They are entrepreneurial. I hope I said that right. I always get tongue twisted on that word, but they are entrepreneurs a lot of times. They have a lot of drive, a lot of willpower to make things happen for their lives, and they're very successful. And you know, the natural naturally men are providers and protectors. That's what makes them feel like men. That's what makes them feel important and wanted and needed, is to be providers for their families. You know, and is to be like the protector for their family. And a lot of men will feel emasculated if they're not allowed to do that. You know, they want to be in a relationship where they can be the provider and the protector, which is the way that it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? That's the way that it's supposed to be. But a lot of these men are denouncing that natural side of things, and they are wanting to become betas. You know what I'm saying? Where they don't want to go out there and be the providers because they're so paranoid that the woman that they're providing for possibly is just going to be a gold digger that's only out for their money and what they can get for them instead of really loving them. So they don't even want to be providers. They don't even want that title anymore. They don't want to be the provider. They don't want to be the protector. They want you to provide for them, you as the woman, you to provide for them, you to protect, or they want to be 50-50 where everything is equal. And unfortunately, a lot of women feel as though the 50-50 thing is okay, you know, because of the whole feminist movement and all of that stuff. And, you know, not to say that we can't do the same things as men, but, you know, as far as nature is concerned, we're not supposed to be out here working as hard as the men are, you know? And let's just face it, 50-50 never works out for the woman in the relationship. It just doesn't, because 50-50 pretty much means him doing like 50% or him 50-50 actually equals to like, you know, 20-80. And I'm talking about 80 on the woman's side, you know, because 9 times out of 10, if you're in a relationship where both you as the woman and your partner, your man in this situation, are both out there working, let's say you guys are both working, you know, 8, 10, 12-hour shifts or whatever, and you guys both come home, let's say you guys have a family or whatever, kids and the whole 9 times out of 10, when that man comes home and he is done with his shift from work and he comes home, he is kicking his shoes off, he's getting comfortable, and he's going to stay in front of that TV or whatever, crack him a beer or, you know, whatever it is that he likes to do to wind down after work, and he's going to be on that couch flipping through them channels. But when a woman comes home from her job working an 8, 10, 12-hour shift, her job is not over when she hits the door. When she hits the door from her previous job, being out there in the streets, working on them hours, as soon as she hits the door, it's job number 2, rearing after these kids. A lot of times women don't even get to sit down. She's been home for 4 or 5 hours from work and she hasn't even sat down because she's cooking dinner. She's making sure the kids get their homework done. She's making sure they get bath time and teeth brushed, bedtime stories, putting them to bed and everything. And all the while, her man is just sitting there clicking through channels, asking when dinner is going to be done and whatnot. He's not helping with none of that other stuff, but he wants to call it being 50-50 though. He wants you to go out and work just as hard as he does, bring home just as much money as he does, pay half of the bills, and then do all of your quote unquote womanly duties as far as like keeping the house clean, rearing the kids and everything. But he's not doing 50-50 because as soon as he gets off, as soon as he gets home, he's kicking his feet up on the couch. You know, so it's not 50-50. It never works out for the woman like that. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. So I think that maybe in the beginning, the whole idea behind MGTOW was maybe a good thing, but I think that it has just been so perverted. And these men are really just converting to men that just want to be sit around and be taken care of because they don't want no gold digging woman or whatever. But you know what? All of that aside, you know, it's not about being a gold digger. It's about being a woman who knows your place as a woman and knows that your place is not to be out here working hard. If you're married in a relationship, you know, if you're out there single, then yeah, you're going to need to work and need to go out there and do your things so you could be independent and pay your own bills. But once you decide to settle down and get into a relationship, you should be getting with somebody who wants to provide for you, somebody who wants to take the load off of you, somebody who wants to see you at home. Even if you do have something going on where you're making your own money, you should be with somebody who wants to elevate you and wants to see you doing better, who wants to help you do better in your business, who can hopefully has the money to do so. That's what we should be looking for, as men who have the money to be providers for us, who want to be a provider, who want to see you taking care of the household and rearing after the kids and following your dreams and stuff like that. And they don't want to see you out there working hard, just as hard as they do, paying half of the bills, because they understand that they are supposed to be the provider and the protector. And true alpha males understand that. They do. They do. And true alpha males have been burned before too. They've been in relationships before, most likely, where they got burned and it wasn't the best situation for them to be in, but they're not holding it against every single woman that comes along in the future, you know? So those are my thoughts overall on MGTOW. I really hope that I gave a decent explanation about it, because it's just one of those things that is so multifaceted, and I just think that it is just going all the way left. A lot of men are taking it all the way left, and it's just getting crazy out here. So let me know what you guys think. Leave some comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about MGTOW. Are you for it? Against it? What do you think? And also let me know, women out there especially, but men too if there's any watching, but women, what do you think about the whole 50-50 thing? Do you think that it is okay or acceptable for a man and a woman in a relationship to go 50-50 on everything? Or do you think that women should be out here looking for strong provider men? And that does not mean that we're gold diggers, because as women, we are hardwired to look for someone who can be a provider, who can be that alpha and wants to protect us and take care of us and protect us and our kids. You know what I'm saying? So let me know. You guys already know how I feel about it, obviously. But let me know what you guys think about MGTOW and the whole 50-50 thing. Are you with it or not? All right. With that being said, I'm up out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. You know I love y'all. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Deuces.